Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a good old-fashioned book haul, which are like some of my favorite videos to film and to watch. And I don't know about y'all, tell me in the comments if you agree, but I feel like reading books is kind of like its own hobby, and then buying books is kind of like a whole nother hobby. Like, I feel like, yeah, we can all enjoy like the reading component and like having a book and like devouring a book, but also like shopping for and ordering and buying and like perusing books and going to bookstores, like that's kind of a whole nother thing. And so I feel like it's kind of a separate hobby, and I kind of have a problem with it. Y'all, I have a bookshelf that is completely overflowing and I still can't stop. So I'm sure a lot of y'all are the same way. Let me know in the comments if you are just like a book like junkie. That's my problem. So I have a gigantic box here. Like, I won't even be able to lift this up. So I'm gonna insert a picture here so y'all can see how crazy this box is. Like, it is so heavy and so full, and I'm excited to film this video so I can start putting some of this stuff away. So it's a little bit random. Also, the baby's napping right now, so I have to just keep my eye on the monitor as well. But this is kind of a mix of a bunch of like different types of books and styles of books. You will see as we get into it. And of course, I will have everything linked down below for y'all to check out. Of course, like always, most of it's all from Amazon and Target. I think almost everything is. And honestly, these are all brand new books, which is kind of unique for my channel because I do shop primarily used when I shop for books, just because it's obviously a lot more affordable, and I don't typically like hold on to my books. If I am done with them, I usually either like pass them on, sell them, donate them, lend them to someone, or whatever it may be, and I never read them more than once or anything like that. So I typically just go the used route, also because I feel like that's a little bit more better, you know, for the environment to like repurpose books. So typically for the purposes of like cost and the fact that I only like have a book for a short period of time, I do really like to go used, but these are all new, which is very, very atypical for me. But I am very excited to share them with y'all. So I'm actually gonna start with this series, and I try to read like one series a year. It's kind of like a weird little like resolution I make or something, to try to read like one book series every year, but I can't really commit to like a very long series, and obviously having a baby, I don't get like a ton of time to read, nowhere near as much as I'd like. So I typically like to stick to series that have only like 3 books in them. That's usually like pretty manageable for me. And this is the Ravenwood series, and I feel like this is kind of not like underrated, but kind of a lesser known author and series. This I could literally only find on Amazon. I didn't find it on like any used book sites or like Mercury or Poshmark or Target or like anywhere else that I typically get my books. So I don't know if this is exclusive to Amazon or if this is just kind of a lesser known series, but on Goodreads it has amazing reviews, and someone on Instagram recommended to me that if I like some of the other books I've posted, that I would definitely like this series. And when I looked into it, it had amazing reviews, so I was like, okay, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this author or this series. I have to try it out. These are the 3 books in the series. The author is Kate Stewart, and the first book is Flock, the second book is Exodus, and the third one is The Finish Line. And I really like the cover art. I kind of like the whole vibe of the series. And y'all, honestly, like I was saying, even though I do mostly buy used books, there is something about like fresh, brand new, like nice and flat and like tightly bound books that is just also very, very satisfying. Like, new books are just kind of exciting as well. So I'm really excited about this series. Let me know if y'all have read this. I really don't feel like a lot of people know about it. Frankly, I don't really know much about what it's about. If y'all haven't watched any of my other book hauls, I don't like to read the backs of my book. I don't really like to know much about it at all, other than like maybe the general storyline or just like the genre, or if I trust the author, then I'll just buy it and read it. So I like to be surprised when I start reading. I really don't like any spoilers, like the trailer of a movie or something. Like, I don't really want to see it. I just want to know if I'm interested, I'm gonna go for it. So I'm so excited. Don't spoil anything, but let me know what y'all thought of this if you have read it. And like I said, I do have a bunch of novels in here, but I do have more cookbooks, so I will just do those at the very end because I'm super excited about them. But in terms of novels, if y'all follow me on Instagram or basically anywhere, then you would know I have a serious Colleen Hoover addiction, like we all pretty much do right now. Leave a comment below and let me know if you are just obsessed with her, because I feel like everyone that reads like even just one book by her gets kind of hooked. So I decided to pick up literally, I think this is every book of hers that I don't already own. I've read a couple of them already, obviously, but I wanted to have all the rest of them like just on deck because I just love her so much that when I get in the mood to read one of her books, I want to make sure I have a good selection. She just announced a couple, well, probably by the time you're seeing this, it's been a while ago since she announced, but she announced she's coming out with a new book. I don't think it's coming out for a few months, frankly, but she's coming out with another book, which is super exciting. And like I said, I have quite a few, but the ones that I didn't have are Maybe Someday and Maybe Not. And I think there might be one more book to this series. I was getting kind of confused when I was looking it up because I think this is like part of a mini series, but this one's just called a novella. So I don't know if this is like a short story. So Target had these 2 available, so I just snagged these 2. I still need to really figure out like how they relate or if they do relate at all. And then I also picked up Without Merit. I really loved Verity, but as far as I understand, that's the only like thriller that she's done. The rest of her books are more like, I don't know, kind of like suspenseful, not even suspenseful, but they're romances, but they're kind of like romances that like are crafted in a way that keeps you really intrigued and on your toes. It's not just like a boring old love story, which is I think how she gets everyone hooked, because her novels are like not crazy besides Verity, but they still keep you on the edge of your seat. I don't know how she does it. So I got this one and I love the cover of this one. I just think most of her books have really interesting cover art. I mean, honestly, these two not so much. These are kind of boring, and I think these are older. Like I feel like she wrote these quite a while ago, and then some of these other ones are slightly more recent, but I'm really excited about this one. It is pretty big as well, and I say this in every one of my book hauls, but I love paperbacks. I'm a paperback girl through and through. I will choose a paperback over a hardcover literally any day. Let me know what y'all prefer. And then this one I got off of Amazon because I think Target was or is sold out of this one for some reason, so I snagged this one off of Amazon, and this is All Your Perfects. Everything is just so pretty, like even in your bookshelf. That's just gonna look so good, like peeking out with all the pretty colors. And like I said, I don't know what any of these are about, but literally anything Colleen Hoover writes, I will read. I kind of feel like I have all of them, maybe missing like one. And then these next three are a little bit random, honestly. The third one I'll mention is super random for me, but this one I grabbed. This one's by Leanne Moriarty, and I just love her. It's called The Last Anniversary. And honestly, she's another one where like I don't really need to know what the book's about. I'm gonna read it if she wrote it because she is just incredible. Leanne Moriarty, Lisa Jewell, Laura Littman, Colleen Hoover, Jodi Picoult, Gillian Flynn. There's like a handful of authors that I will read just about anything you write. I honestly don't need to know anything about it, and she is one of them. I just love the way she writes, and her stories are generally, I mean, I usually prefer like thrillers and mysteries and suspenses and all that kind of stuff, like death, grief, and sorrow, murder, all of that. But I like to like intersperse those with some kind of lighthearted stories because it can be kind of heavy if that's all you read. So her stories are usually that for me. They're usually just like kind of lighter and easy reads, kind of like beach summer reads sort of vibes. So that's what I love her for. But I mean, at the same time, even though they're not like super intense, at least so far as I've experienced thus far, they're still, again, like they keep you really wanting to like not put it down. This one, like I said, I really don't know much about. There's like a little stroller on it, so I assume it's got something to do with babies, and I love babies. I love my little baby, which he's sleeping so good right now, so thank you for that, Cole. Oh, and like I was just saying, Lisa Jewell, she's another one who I just love just about anything she writes, and she definitely is more, I feel like for the most part, in the genre of like the thrillers and the mysteries and stuff like that. So this one is called Then She Was Gone. I really like the cover art of this one too. I definitely judge a book by its cover. It says on the cover here, an acutely observed family drama with bone-chilling suspense. That's all I need to know, frankly, and obviously from the title you can tell someone goes missing. I don't really need much more information than that, especially when Lisa Jewell's name is on it. And again, there's just something about like a brand new, fresh book. However, a lot of the used books that I get like are basically new. I sometimes wonder if they are actually used, like if anyone's actually read them. The book I'm reading right now feels brand new. Like the pages seem so crisp, like it doesn't seem like it's ever been touched. And then this one is very, very completely out of my normal realm of like what books I would be interested in. It's like a self-help book. I really don't read those very much. Honestly, I don't really read anything that's like nonfiction for the most part, but I just feel like this book has broken the internet. Like everyone has read this, everyone is talking about it. It says on here like over 3 million copies sold, and that was probably a long time ago. I just feel like everyone's obsessed with this book. I'm sure this will be beneficial to me, especially because people seem to be eating it up and loving this book. I'm sure I will get something out of it. It's just not something that I would typically be interested in whatsoever. But I honestly love, like even though the cover art is just very simple, I kind of like that it's, I don't know, sort of reflective and like almost glittery. It's kind of just a pretty book. I'm really not sure how I'm gonna feel about it because like I said, I like stories and I like characters, and the fact that this is more like a how to improve yourself, you know, make better habits, things like that. It's more like informational and educational. Just don't know what it's gonna be like. I might end up loving it. Like I might end up getting a ton out of it. We're gonna see. Let me know if y'all have read this. What did you think about it? Was it helpful? Like, was it easy to get through? Was it super boring? And then these last, honestly, 5, these are so heavy. Oh, this is literally like the heaviest stack of books ever. These are all cookbooks, which I really shouldn't have done because I have a ton of cookbooks. I love cookbooks. As much as I love buying novels, I really like buying cookbooks because they're so fun. Like they're a book that you can actually do something with besides just read, you know? I get really, really excited about cookbooks. This one got recommended to me by someone for kind of like healthier, lower calorie options, and I got this off Amazon used actually. So I guess this is the only not new book in this haul, but this was literally like $3. used and like free shipping. This is the Hungry Girl Clean and Hungry Obsessed, all natural recipes for food you can't live without. But what really sold me on why I bought it is that all the recipes in here are under 375 calories, which is crazy. Right now I want to be able to eat and like honestly eat a lot but without having a ton of calories, so this seemed right up my alley. Plus I like this little Hungry Girl series. I feel like I've seen other things from them online and stuff, but basically I think every recipe, literally, I don't know if there's any that don't, has a picture. So for me, that's kind of huge because I like, that's what's gonna make me, wow, fully loaded tater tots. If that doesn't scream my name, I don't know what does. But honestly, like, seeing a picture is what will make me make a recipe. Like, I mean, frankly, if I saw fully loaded tater tots even without a picture, I'd probably make it because literally that is me. But seeing a picture, it just makes it obviously so much more enticing. Wow, did you see that sandwich? See what I mean? But I just love that it's such a low calorie cookbook. Obviously 375 calories is very, very low for any specific meal. But what I like about that is that I could have like 2 servings of whatever it is that I'm making. Plus they have like desserts. Like there is everything in this cookbook. I feel like this is just the coolest thing ever. What's really important to me in a cookbook is not only pictures, but it's having, and this doesn't have the macros entirely, like it doesn't have the fats, the carbs, the protein, all of that. It just has the calories. But for me, that's kind of important because I like to be able, for the most part, to track what I'm eating. Literally so excited about this. And then next, I have 2 books that kind of, they don't all go together actually, but these 2 do. And these are the Half-Baked Harvest cookbooks. And I'm sure y'all probably know about Half-Baked Harvest on Instagram. I feel like that is like the #1 food Instagram. I mean, other than like Delish and all those ones that are kind of like quick, easy meals, I feel like Half-Baked Harvest is one of the most popular like food blogs / Instagram accounts, at least that I know of. She has the most insane meals. They look so good, but they're not like overly like simple or quick eats or anything. They're honestly like normal recipes. They just look insanely delicious. So she's coming out with a new cookbook, but this is the first one she ever came out with. It's just called the Half-Baked Harvest. I think this is kind of like where she started. Honestly, the spine of this I just realized is really pretty with that bright yellow. And then the other one is the Half-Baked Harvest Super Simple. So these are like instant overnight meal prepped, like easy comfort food. So these are going to be a little bit quicker. These both say that they're New York Times bestsellers as well. A lot of it is online, like on her Instagram and on her blog and stuff. So I mean, obviously not all of it. So that's why I was a little bit hesitant to get the cookbook, because I feel like a lot of her stuff I could get for free online and then just like reference it on my phone. But again, like I said, there's just something about like a cookbook, like the pages, the way it smells, honestly. I like smell pages, especially when they're this kind of like textbook sort of kind of page. There's just something about a cookbook that I really, really enjoy. Like it has the pictures, you can like put a little bookmark in it, you can reference back to it, you can photocopy it. I just think it's so much easier to cook out of a cookbook than off of my phone. The only thing is that this doesn't have the calories and all of that, which like I said, I really, really prefer. So that's just one thing about these 2 that I'm not obsessed with. So I'm not exactly sure how much I'm gonna like these, but I wanted to at least snag them and kind of like flip through them and see what I thought. And then this one, I thought this looked so cool. This isn't by any like particular person that I recognize or anything, but this is the Secret Ingredient Cookbook, which I thought sounded really fun. It's 125 family recipes with surprisingly tasty twists, which I thought sounded kind of just like interesting and fun and different. Obviously, like cookbooks are just kind of cookbooks, and I feel like if you want to stand out or you want to be noticed or you want people to buy your cookbook, you kind of have to have something different to it other than just being like, dinners and lunches in a cookbook, make these, you know what I mean? Like you have to have a spin to them, and this book did that, like the Secret Ingredient Cookbook. I'm sure these are fairly straightforward recipes, but the fact that they have like a little twist with like a secret ingredient in them or something that's kind of unexpected, that kind of drew me in. I thought that was so interesting. And this is again just a really pretty cookbook. Those look so good, and it has like a little, I don't know, like a little bubble that says like what the secret ingredient is. So for example, these are Tex-Mex turkey burgers with chipotle mayo, and the secret ingredient is creamed corn, which honestly I would never have thought there was creamed corn in a turkey burger. So again, I just think there's little things like that about this cookbook that make it kind of interesting. And it does not have any of the nutritional information, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it seems like well-rounded. Like it has desserts, it has obviously a ton of like regular meals, seafood, it has breakfast, so it has a little bit of everything. And then the last cookbook here I have is called Everyday Dinners, a real-life recipes to set your family up for a week of success. And I saw this recommended by someone that I follow on Instagram, and she showed a couple recipes and like kind of flipped through a couple pages, and it looked kind of interesting. Again, it's not super unique. It's literally called Everyday Dinners, which I feel like normally wouldn't really intrigue you, but I thought it was just a really pretty, I swear I'm such a sucker for the cover of books. I just thought it was really pretty. And she showed some of the recipes and they looked, again, pretty simple but also pretty interesting. Such a pretty book. Again, tons and tons and tons of pictures. No nutritional information, which is kind of a bummer to me. A lot of kind of like whole foods, more or less, like fairly simple recipes, but still like really interesting and flavorful. There's just not a ton of like super fatty stuff that I see in here. So I think this will be not only like mostly easy because it's calling itself like everyday dinner. I feel like that means for the most part they're not going to be a ton of ingredients or super like labor intensive, but they also seem like they're going to be healthy too. So those are a bunch of the cookbooks that I've recently gotten and some of the novels, and that's actually everything for this haul. Definitely leave a comment, like what are y'all buying? What are you into in terms of books? Like what's a book that you recently read that you're obsessed with, or a book that you recently read that like you didn't love or you couldn't get through? Like I just want to talk about books with y'all. And also definitely follow me on Instagram and Goodreads because I post, obviously I update my Goodreads all the time. I will follow you back. And on Instagram I'm also always posting like what I'm reading. When I finish my book, I would give like kind of a little review what I thought of it. I think those are both just shan.anderson. I'm pretty sure my usernames are the same for Goodreads and Instagram. Definitely follow me and like we could talk about books. I love all of that. There's so many of y'all that I chat with just specifically about books from some of my book hauls and stuff that I'm now like connected with on Instagram, and we just talk about books and it's so much fun. So I love that. Definitely do that. Leave a comment, all the things, and like I said, everything that I mentioned will be linked down below for you guys to check out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here, and until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye guys.